My name is Emily Thompson, 28 years old, and I thought I knew my place in our family. But one Sunday dinner flipped my world upside down. "I'm so excited for our cruise next month," I said, reaching for the mashed potatoes, my voice brimming with anticipation. My sister Sarah Johnson snorted, her eyes glinting with mockery. "Oh, you thought you were coming." My dad, John Thompson, grinned, his tone casual yet cutting. "It's for real, family, Em." Their laughter sliced through me like a cold wind, but I forced a nod, my hands trembling as I cleared the plates. They had no clue what was coming next. If you're watching this, drop a comment below telling me where you're from. Hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about family dynamics gone wrong and how they can sometimes be set right. The responsible one. I've always been the dependable one in the Thompson family, the one who never asked for handouts. While my siblings leaned on our parents' financial support well into their 30s, I juggled 2 jobs to earn my marketing degree, graduating with minimal student loans. That milestone passed without so much as a pat on the back from my family. Now, as a marketing coordinator at a Boston travel agency, I've carved out a stable life. My 1-bedroom apartment in a quiet neighborhood isn't flashy, but it's mine. Each month, I squirrel away savings for retirement and dream of a house someday. Yet my parents, John and Linda, never got it. Why waste money on rent, they'd ask puzzled, as if moving back home like Sarah did again and again was the obvious choice. Sarah, 32, is the golden child, her carefree charm masking a trail of unfinished college programs and fleeting jobs. Despite her missteps, our parents shower her with support. Dad cleared her credit card debt twice while Mom treats her to shopping sprees. Last year, after Sarah totaled her car texting and driving, they covered most of her new car's down payment. Meanwhile, when my 12-year-old Honda's transmission failed, they brushed off my request for help with a shrug. Then there's my brother Michael Davis, 30, who coasts along in Sarah's shadow. He landed a cushy job at Dad's construction company without a resume or a single qualification. Michael's not cruel like Sarah can be, but he's spineless siding with her to keep his comfortable spot in the family pecking order. He'll text me for advice on his finances or love life, his message is warm and earnest, but the moment Sarah's around, he freezes me out, his loyalty shifting like sand. A lifetime of being overlooked. This dynamic took root early. My straight A's were met with a curt, "That's expected." But when Sarah or Michael scraped by with a B, the house erupted in praise. New gadgets, dinners out, you name it. Family photos lined the walls, showcasing their sports trophies and theater performances, while my academic awards gathered dust in an attic box. Yet I kept showing up, my heart heavy but hopeful. I brought homemade dishes to every gathering, remembered birthdays, with thoughtful gifts, even when mine passed with a belated text, if that. I listened patiently to Mom's rants about her neighbors and Dad's endless tales of high school football glory, clinging to the belief that one day they'd see me. 6 weeks ago at a family barbecue, Dad announced a 7-day Caribbean cruise to celebrate their 35th wedding anniversary. The excitement was infectious, and I joined in, offering to use my travel agency discount to plan it. Dad's eyes lit up, and I poured hours into crafting the perfect trip cabins, excursions, dining options, all tailored to their tastes. We discussed room assignments and snorkeling plans, my enthusiasm bubbling over. Not once did anyone hint I wasn't included. I even secured upgrades through my connections, my boss bending the rules to let me apply my employee discount. It felt like a chance to finally belong. But exclusion wasn't new. Last Christmas, they exchanged gifts on Christmas Eve, while I worked a late shift, leaving me to arrive to a half-hearted morning afterthought. For my last birthday, they planned a spontaneous lake house trip, the same weekend, acting shocked when I mentioned the clash. Still being told to my face I wasn't real family hit differently, a raw, searing wound. The dinner that broke me. That fateful Sunday dinner started like any other. I arrived at my parents' suburban home at 500 p.m. sharp, clutching a $100 bottle of Cabernet, a rare splurge for my tight budget, hoping it'd pair perfectly with Mom's pot roast. The house was as it always was. Dad's hedges trimmed to perfection outside Mom's porcelain figurines, and family photos crowding the inside. I noticed, as always, how few of those photos included me, a quiet reminder of my place. "You're just in time," Mom called from the kitchen, her voice warm but distracted. "Sarah and Michael are here." In the living room, Sarah lounged on the couch, scrolling her phone, her posture radiating entitlement. Michael was glued to a basketball game on the new TV, barely glancing up. "Hey, Em," he mumbled, eyes fixed on the screen. Sarah flicked her gaze my way. "Nice of you to finally show," she said, though I was right on time. I swallowed the jab as always and headed to the kitchen. "Brought wine," I called, forcing a smile. Dinner unfolded pleasantly at first. Dad carved the roast with practiced ease. Mom beamed over her garlic mashed potatoes, and I poured the wine, its rich aroma a small comfort. We chatted about work, drama, neighborhood gossip, and Michael's new girlfriend. Then, during a lull, Mom turned to me. So, how's work? My chance. Work was hectic with year-end reports, but the cruise planning had been a bright spot. It's busy, I said, my voice lifting, but I'm thrilled about next month. I've been researching snorkeling spots in Grand Cayman for the cruise. The coral reef preservation area sounds incredible. The room went still, the air thick with unspoken tension. Sarah snorted, her lips curling in amusement. Oh, you thought you were coming, she said, glancing at Michael, who avoided my eyes. My fork froze midair, my stomach lurching. What? Dad chuckled, setting down his glass. It's for a real family, Em. You know the four of us. The words landed like a punch, my chest tightening. 4, not 5. Never 5. But I've been helping with the bookings, I stammered, my voice small. We talked about excursions together. Sarah rolled her eyes. Yeah, we needed your discount, she said as if explaining to a child. That's why you made the arrangements. Mom shifted, her discomfort palpable, but she stayed silent. Michael stared at his plate, his jaw tight. I see, I whispered, though my mind reeled. Sarah laughed, sharp and cruel. Did you seriously think you were invited? God, that's sad. Dad joined in, shaking his head. We appreciate the help, though. Saved us a bundle. The room tilted, their voices fading, as blood roared in my ears. My face burned, but years of swallowing hurt kept me composed. Can you pass the green beans? I asked, my voice steady despite the storm inside. Dinner droned on, their chatter about packing and Caribbean weather a distant hum. I chewed food I couldn't taste, nodding mechanically, my heart splintering with each second. After I cleared plates, ignoring Mom's protest. Leave those, honey, she said softly. You worked all day. It's fine, I replied, my hands busy to hide their trembling. In the kitchen, the running water drowned out my shaky breaths. Through the doorway, their excited cruise talk continued, Sarah's sunscreen preferences. Mom's dining plans, each word a fresh cut. A breaking point. I drove home in silence. No radio to distract from the chaos in my head. Inside my apartment, I locked the door and sank to the floor, tears spilling over. I wept for the girl who tried so hard for love that should have been hers, for the woman who kept hoping the next time would be different. That night, sleep eluded me. Dad's real family echoing endlessly. By morning, the hurt had hardened into something new, white-hot anger, sharp and clarifying. I called in sick to work a first, in 3 years, my swollen eyes and pounding headache betraying me. Lying in bed, I stared at the ceiling until a text from Mom buzzed through. Thanks for helping with dinner. Dad loved the wine. No apology, no acknowledgement, just the same dismissal I'd known forever. I didn't reply. By noon, I dragged myself to the shower, then made coffee. My laptop sat open, cruise booking confirmations glaring from the screen. Then it hit me. Everything was in my name. Every reservation, every detail tied to my work account and email. My employee discount required me as the primary contact. Dad's credit card covered the deposit, but the balance wasn't due for 18 days. The system allowed last-minute changes, and I had the keys. A plan takes shape. For an hour, I scrolled through old texts, emails, and photos. Each one a reminder of years of exclusion, missed birthday parties, vacations planned without me photos, where I was an afterthought. The cruise was the final straw, using my skills and time for a trip I wasn't welcome on. Real Family Dad had said the words fuel to my resolve. I logged into my work portal. The cruise was 3 weeks away, all details modifiable by me. Doing nothing meant more dinners, more pretending. Confronting them had never worked. My feelings were always too sensitive. I needed justice, not reason. I created a folder labeled Family Cruise, backing up every confirmation. I studied cancellation policies and modification rules, my access to back-end systems giving me power they'd never suspect. I requested 2 weeks leave citing mental health and booked a cabin in New Hampshire's White Mountains. No Wi-Fi spotty cell service, perfect isolation. I set up email auto-responses and timed texts to suggest I was just taking a break. I redirected all booking notifications to a secondary email I controlled. Each step calmed me, shifting me from victim to architect of my own story. Doubts flickered. Was I becoming the villain they'd always painted me as? But the memory of their laughter, casual and cruel, steeled my resolve. The night before my plan's execution, I sat with a glass of wine, toasting the new Emily Thompson one, who'd no longer be invisible. The Reckoning. The White Mountains cabin was a haven nestled among pines with a valley view that soothed my soul. Bill, the retired ranger owner, warned of spotty cell service, handing me the keys. I hiked trails, snapped wildflower photos, and breathed air untainted by city noise. My phone stayed off until evening when I logged into the agency system. 3 days prior, I'd shifted the cruise to start a day later, swapped Dad's name to a companion role, and rerouted confirmations to my email. A hold on the credit card charge citing verification issues sealed the chaos. Next morning, I sipped coffee on the cabin's porch swing, the sunrise painting the mountains gold. My family would be at Logan Airport, luggage packed oblivious. At 9:47 a.m., my phone buzzed. The group chat exploded. Dad, the reservation's not in the system for today. Mom, what do you mean? We confirmed weeks ago. Sarah, this is ridiculous. We've been here 45 minutes. Michael, has anyone called M? She handled the bookings. Sarah, she's not answering. Their panic grew flights missing payment issues the cruise set for tomorrow. Dad's voicemail was furious. Emily, something's wrong with the bookings. Call the agency now. I silenced the calls, watching their crisis unfold via texts. By noon, they faced rebooking costs and a missed cruise. Sarah texted, "You did this on purpose, didn't you?" Always the victim. Dad's out thousands and Mom's crying. Michael was softer. "Em, please call. We can fix this." Mom's private text read, "Sweetheart, we're worried. If we upset you, let's talk." Dad's silence was ominous, a storm brewing. I hiked again, the mountain air washing away years of hurt. That night, I savored a steak and wine stars bright above. My family booked a hotel, their vacation unraveling. Dad's final text was chilling. "When I find you, we'll have a serious talk." But I wasn't afraid. For once, I held the power. The confrontation. A week later, I pulled into my parents' driveway at noon, 3 days after their failed trip. My hands were steady, my resolve firm. All 3 cars were there. Dad's truck, Mom's sedan, Sarah's flashy convertible. They were waiting, likely plotting their approach. I knocked, not using my key, a small act of defiance. Mom opened the door, relief and worry in her eyes. "Em, thank goodness. Come in." The living room was tense. Dad sat in his recliner, knuckles, white face, a mask of control. Sarah perched on the sofa, arms crossed, her glare venomous. Michael offered a nod, his eyes conflicted. "Sit down, Emily," Dad said, his voice tight. I stood. "I'll stand, thanks." He frowned. "Fine. Anything to say for yourself?" I bit back a laugh. Classic Dad, always on the offensive. "Actually, I do," I said, my voice steady, fueled by years of suppressed pain. "But first, what do you have to say about last Sunday? About telling me I'm not real family?" Sarah rolled her eyes. "Oh my God, is that what this is about?" "You ruined our vacation over hurt feelings," Mom cautioned Sarah, then turned to me, her voice soft. "Honey, no one meant to hurt you. It was a bad joke." "A joke?" I said, my tone flat. Saying the cruise was for real family was funny. Laughing at me was fun. Dad cleared his throat. "You're twisting it. It was just the 4 of us for our anniversary." "Your children?" I said, my voice sharp. "But you used me to plan it, humiliated me when I assumed I was included." Sarah snapped. "You should have asked instead of assuming." My anger flared. "Why would I? I planned every detail. Who does that for a trip?" Their nod on Mom's voice was soft. "We should have been clearer." "Clearer," I said, my voice rising. "You laughed at me." Michael spoke up, his voice quiet. "She's right. It was messed up." Sarah glared at him. "Whose side are you on?" "I'm not picking sides," he said. "But we need to be honest." Dad stood, his face red. "What you did was disproportionate. You cost us thousands, sabotaged our vacation. And excluding me while using my work was fair," I shot back. "Let me ask you, Dad, when's my birthday?" He blinked. "It's April. March 18th, I corrected. "I'll be 29. You've missed it 3 years running." I turned to Mom. "What was my college GPA?" She hesitated. "I don't. 3.95, summa cum laude, working 2 jobs. You skipped my graduation for Sarah's wisdom teeth surgery." Sarah protested. "That wasn't minor." I ignored her, facing Michael. "When did you last call just to talk, not for help?" He looked ashamed. "I don't know." "This isn't about one dinner," I said, my voice breaking. "It's a lifetime of being an afterthought, expected to show up, help, and take scraps of attention." Silence fell, broken only by a neighbor's lawnmower. Dad's face flushed. "We've treated you kids equally." I laughed bitter. "Equal? Sarah crashes her car, you buy her a new one. I save for grad school, and you tell me to plan better." Mom closed a window, aware of prying ears. "Let's calm down," she said. "I didn't come to fight," I said. "I came to tell the truth. You've made me feel like an outsider my whole life." Sarah stood furious. "So you punished us, wasted Dad's money, ruined Mom's anniversary. You're pathetic." "Rebecca?" Mom gasped. I stayed calm. "You're right, Sarah. I showed who I am, someone done being your doormat." I faced them all. "Reflect on this or keep blaming me." but I'm done accepting less than I deserve. Dad stepped forward. If you walk out, don't expect a warm welcome back. Actions have consequences. I said, that's what I was teaching you. Michael stood. Wait. I paused. You're right, he said. We've treated you like crap. I'm sorry. His words nearly broke me. I nodded, unable to speak, and walked out, their arguing voices fading behind me. A new beginning. The first week was silent. No calls, no texts. I returned to work telling colleagues my leave was restorative. My boss, Diane, checked in, but I kept it vague. By week 2, Michael texted, "Hey, checking in. Hope you're okay," I replied. A day later, "I'm fine." Thanks. He suggested coffee, and we met at a downtown shop. He looked different, less cocky, more thoughtful. He remembered my oat milk preference, a small gesture that surprised me. That was quite a Sunday, he said. I smiled. Which one? Both, he said, gripping his mug. Things are tense at home. Sarah's telling everyone you had a breakdown. Mom's torn up, Dad's furious. I nodded. He's talking legal action, but it's just talk, Michael added. I wasn't worried. Dad wouldn't air our dirty laundry. I've been thinking, Michael said. You weren't wrong about how we've treated you. His apology was simple, disarming. We talked for hours, sharing frustrations and dreams mine to start a travel consultancy. He hugged me tightly as we parted. Don't give up on us yet. Mom texted next. Made your favorite lemon bars. Miss you. A peace offering, but no apology. I replied, thanks, keeping the door ajar. Sarah's Instagram post about family betrayal painted her as the victim, but I ignored it. Then Aunt Margaret, Dad's sister, emailed, heard about the drama. I'm here if you need to talk. Her support, rooted in her own strained history with Dad, meant the world. As fall approached, I debated Thanksgiving at my parents'. My friend Sarah advised say what you need for closure, not to change them. I drafted an email to my parents, outlining my perspective and needs, letting it sit unsent. Then Mom called. I owe you a real apology, she said, her voice trembling. I expected more from you because you were so capable. I didn't see how that made you feel less valued. You don't matter less. Tears fell. I'd like to fix this, she said. Will you come to dinner Sunday just to talk? I agreed, cautious hope stirring. Healing, step by step. 6 months later, I stood in Mom's kitchen, helping with Easter dinner. New photos, including me, adorned the walls, a small but meaningful change. Check the rolls. Mom asked, stirring gravy. Kyle had become my ally, calling out old patterns and making space for me. Our coffee dates were now a ritual, deepening our bond. Mom started therapy, sharing insights about her own childhood. Dad, stubborn at first, softened, helping me move apartments and admitting, You've done well, Em. I should have said it more. Sarah remained distant, her jabs softer but present. Yet she asked about my work once, a tiny step. At Easter, Dad spoke before we ate. This year's been tough. I haven't been the father I should have to you, Em. I'm sorry. Tears stung my eyes. He announced another cruise this time, for all of us wanting my input, not just my discount. Dinner felt different. Real conversation, real listening. Later, Sarah approached me. How'd you do it technically, she asked about the cruise. I smiled. Professional, secret. She hesitated. I've been selfish. I'm trying to be better. It wasn't an apology, but it was progress. Aunt Margaret pulled me aside. I'm proud of you, she said. It takes courage to demand better. Her words crystallized my journey. True family isn't blood. It's respect, care, and growth. I'd spent years chasing love that should have been mine. By standing up, I changed how they saw me and how I saw myself. Lessons to take away. This journey taught me 3 key lessons. Set boundaries. Standing up for yourself, even drastically, can break toxic patterns. Speak your truth. Honest communication, though hard, can spark change. Value yourself. Demand respect from those who should love you most. Have you ever had to stand up to family who treated you unfairly? Share your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. If this resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe for more stories about self-worth and family dynamics. Thanks for joining me on this journey.